Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I am coming to you today to show you some thrifty finds and treasures that I recently acquired. And Thrifty Thursday is brought to you by Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming and Thrifted Treasures by Dale at Not Too Shabby Chic. And first, I'd like to share with you some wonderful things that were sent to me by my sweet friend Deb. She and her husband recently went to celebrate her birthday on an antiquing trip. How fun is that? And they went to an event at Coates Farm in Florence, Alabama. And she was kind enough to ask if there's anything I was wishing for while she was out hunting. And I sent her a few things. I was looking for some beads and some old jewelry that I could dismantle and take apart and use in my junk journal embellishing, and dangles and things like that. So she ended up finding some things, and she was so gracious to pick them up for me and mail them to me. So I'd like to share with you a few things she sent. She found these wonderful bags of vintage jewelry, and there's just so many treasures in here that can be taken apart. There's a little bag of wonderful shells, a shell necklace in this one. And how lovely will that be for like a nautical journal, a beach kind of a journal, summer journal. Look at those lovely beads in there. I think that's going to be really fun to create with. And then there's just all kinds of random, just little selections in here. Some yellow beads, little, looks like a tortoise shell, little thing that would be really cute to use on a closure for a journal. You could weave some sari silk or something through there and use that like a buckle. And then this one was cute. That one you could use for a little dangle. And here's a chain with some little dangles on the bottom. And some lovely pearls. I am a pearl girl, so I do love pearls. This one is all tangled up. Lovely. Very vintage looking pearls. That would look really pretty with the journal I am about to start. It's going to have a lot of neutrals in it, so that one and this one I'm eyeing up for that journal. That has a lot of lovely beads on it as well. And then a little darker red one. Oops, I really got this all tangled in here. With some little dangly beads. That one was pretty. And this one was interesting. It's got some long little dangle on that one. And then some pink beads. Pink ones in that one. So I love looking for different things like that that you can take apart and repurpose into other things. I love the idea of repurposing rather than throwing it in the landfill. Somebody loved these treasures at one point in time, and it's nice to breathe new life into them. So that has some interesting shaped beads on it as well. And just a little plain red one. So that was that package, and then here's another shell one. This one has kind of like that hookah look that was so popular back in the 70s. The shell flower and shells with the beads. So that was a fun find. I can see a lot of uses for that. And then there was another bag that had some pretty beads in it. She got this bag for $8, and the other bag was about the same. So lots of things to do with the beads and the dangles. These were a lot of loose beads. This was a pretty piece with the pretty iridescent beads on that. That'll make some really pretty stick pins. And look at all of these goodies. I just love that. These lovely crystals. And in amongst all the loose beads, there were these wonderful military buttons off of a coat. There was a whole set of them. If I can read on there, it says Highway Patrol. So it must have been Highway Patrol. It must have been maybe a police uniform of some sort. So those were really neat vintage buttons, and then some little bitty tiny crystals, and then different size baubles there. Some big black baubles. And then amongst that batch was this beautiful pendant. Look at that vintage pendant. That has such a lovely floral on there, and then the chain was so interesting. I really love the chain. It's got the little twist closure, and that was a 1928 piece. That was popular way back when as well. So that'll make something really pretty. I'm excited about that one. Let's see, maybe we'll bring the little dish over and pop them all in there. That dish, if you recall from one of my previous videos, I got it in an antique mall close to our town here. And I have a project in the works for that right now. I'll be showing you soon. Lots of little bitty baubles in here. They look pretty just sitting in the dish, don't they? And then she sent a couple other little snippets of things she thought I might like creating with. That was so sweet of her to include some extra things. Some really interesting trims. This is a beautiful vintage velvet trim. It's almost like, well, not really velvet, but it feels like velvet. So that was pretty. There's a big long strand of that. And then some fun little trim there. I'm not sure what you call that, but it's got some lovely texture to it, as does this one. This one's really fun. I think this will make a real funky kind of a little closure on a book. And then this beautiful vintage in the dark, like an olive green. Look at how delicate that one is. I just think that one is so lovely. And a lovely piece of shimmery fabric. That'll look pretty with that, won't it? This is not a color that I've worked with before, but I'm really wanting to do like a boho journal and a Victorian journal. Those are way out of my wheelhouse, but that's on my list of wishes to do. So I think that'll look lovely in there. And then, if that wasn't all fun enough, this is an absolute treasure, and I cannot believe that she found this, and she was so gracious to offer some of it to me. Let me pull it up here on the desk. This is such a wonderful find. It is a whole series of sew news. It's a fashion magazine for people who sew, and it's bound in this lovely plastic cover, and it is just wonderful. There are pages or magazines in here from January all the way through September of 1989, and just lovely pages. I am so excited about this. I cannot thank you enough, Deb, for offering to send this to me. Look at the fun pictures, the fashion back then. Okay, this jumpsuit, when I saw this, I just about laughed in my sweet dear friend Nancy will get a kick out of this too. I would have worn this back in the day, back in the 80s, and actually I have a silver stripe. It was tone-on-tone stripe jumpsuit, exactly like that. And I had the pearl necklace to match and the silver pumps to match and just all the things. I'll post a picture on my Facebook page and you all get a kick out of that. But it just reminded me of that jumpsuit. So many fun memories when you look through books like this, magazines, and think of all of the beautiful ephemera you can make with these pages. This one was from March. Look at the big shoulder pad sleeves, that big boxy look. That was like the Joan Collins Dynasty era, wasn't it? I just absolutely love it, and just beautiful colors. It just goes on and on and on. So wonderful. I am just beyond excited to have received this. She found several sets of these at the event she was at the antique market that she went to. That was really a treasure to come across, and in such beautiful condition and bound in the plastic pages like that. Look at that piece for a sewing journal. Oh my goodness, my mind is spinning with all the lovely, oh look at that, that's the Jane Fonda days. All of the lovely ideas that you could do with these. So sweet little girl clothes. Somewhere in one of these were some beautiful bridal gowns. All the advertising will make beautiful tags and ephemera. Just so wonderful. Classifieds. Boy, remember the days of the classifieds in the papers and the magazines? That's days gone by. So just a treasure. I am so beyond excited about this one. So thank you, Deb, for thinking of me when you saw this. Look at all of the quilt swatches. And for sending this to me. I just cannot thank you enough. And aren't crafty friends the best friends? I tell you what, somebody that is out and about shopping on their fun birthday trip and enjoying time with their husband that thinks about you and your crafting wishes and needs, that is a true treasure. So I just adore her. I've not gotten to meet her in person yet, but one day we will get together and do that. And I feel so very blessed to call her a friend. So Deb, thank you from the bottom of my heart for this. I just am beside myself. So that was the treasure find. I wanted to share that with you first. And then I went to a little thrift store in my town and found a few things the other day. I found a deck of vintage Las Vegas playing cards in this little slide box. And I think the box alone is going to be fun to create with. And then the Vegas. We just recently moved from Las Vegas to Indiana. We now live in the country. So we are city transplants. I've been a city girl most of my life, so this is a new adventure for us. So the Vegas kind of reminded me of where I just spent the last 20 years, and my husband was there over 40. So that was fun. And then they are vintage. Look at those jokers and the ace, and very fun. So those will be fun to create with. I have some ideas for the little box already. I've not done much with the playing cards yet, so that'll be a fun project. And then I found some vintage clothespins that were all wrapped up. And my plan with those is to use them to wrap some of my narrower laces around. You can never have too much lace storage, right? I think those will be cute in a little dish or a little dish or a little something, little stand of some sort. And then I found some vintage hankies, and I thought this one was absolutely stunning. Look at the old lace on that, and it is so, so soft. I just think that was a treasure to find. That'll look so pretty, made into a pocket or something in a book, on a book page. And then this one was sweet. This reminded me of spring. I'm so in the mood for spring right now. It's still a little chilly out here, but that one was lovely. And there again, so soft. The fabric is so thin and worn. I just love that feel. And then one more in that batch that had the white flowers. That beautiful soft cotton. I just love that. And then I found this adorable little hanger pin with the rhinestones. And I have a special place for that. That's going somewhere special. Oh, one more thing Deb sent. In that first batch, I forgot to show you, was this beautiful Battenberg lace collar. The minute I saw this, I was just swooning. It already has that beautiful vintage look to it. It almost looks coffee or tea dyed already, though I know that it's not because it was just unpackaged. I just took the wrapper off of it. But this is all tacked up there, but that folds down. And I've been doing some thinking about what to do with this, but look at that beautiful, beautiful trim on there. So many possibilities for that. So again, Deb, thank you so much for that. And then yesterday, I ventured a few towns away and found this wonderful antique mall. And it just went on forever with different booths, and it had 2 levels. I have yet to go upstairs. The lady told me that it's full of vintage furniture and clothing, so I need to save that for another day when I can just spend the day up there. That'll be a happy, happy trip. But I found this beautiful little dish. I thought that would be so pretty to put little knickknacks and whatnots on my desk. Use it for little beads and trinkets. So I found that. And then there was a lady who had a booth that had 80% off. And when I tell you, I was shocked at what I got from her booth. I found this gorgeous vintage doily. Look at the coloring on that and the fraying on the sides. Oh my goodness. I just about fell over when I found this. That was so pretty. Vintage linens and doilies and hankies and napkins are just my love language. I just love them. And then this one again with the Battenberg lace and the beautiful embroidery. That one was lovely. And then I found some vintage napkins. Look at that. That scalloped edging and the beautiful embroidery on there on the gorgeous linen. There's a set of 4 of those. And then I found this beautiful eyelet little mat. I love eyelet too, especially the ones with all the intricate embroidery on them. That is so pretty. And then some more hankies. This one is so sweet with the little flowers. And look at how thin that fabric is. Oh, stuck together with a staple. Oh my goodness, why would you staple into that? Look at how pretty. It's even got the tag on it, made in Switzerland. All cotton. Oh my goodness, that is a treasure. I love that. And then this hanky. This almost looks like men's handkerchief, like they would put in their pocket. My dad used to have these. I bet, would not be surprised if that's what it was. It's not particularly frilly, but it's got some nice detail on it. So that one, and then this one with the little bit of embroidery. It has some pretty detail on the fabric there, and again, look at how thin that fabric is. I would love to know how old these were. I was just a little girl when my dad had those handkerchiefs in his pocket. And then this was a treasure too. Ladies' handkerchiefs in the original box. The box has like a shimmer to it. And inside it says women's real Irish linen handkerchiefs. And they're wrapped up in a satin wrap. And at one point in time, I think there was probably a variety. I remember my grandmother getting these in the satin lined boxes. And look at that. Oh my goodness. The beautiful embroidery on there. And the gorgeous Irish linen. And there is a set of 6. I absolutely could not believe my luck. The last one has a lot of staining on it. I'm thinking a little coffee dye. That might make it look really interesting. On these, I almost hate to try to dye them. However, I think that they would take dye lovely, but they're so beautiful in original form that I almost hate to do it. But that last one, might think about dropping it in the tea dye or the coffee dye and see what happens. But isn't that lovely? All of those doilies and hankies and the napkins with the 80% off price I got for $3.80. I absolutely could not believe that. And then lastly, in the mall that day, I found this vintage tablecloth. And look at this vintage fabric. Oh my goodness. I opened it all up to see it, and there's not a stain on it. I don't know how that happens, because tablecloths, especially lovely ones like this, they tend to stain now and again when you use them. This tablecloth measured 60 by 80, so it is a great big piece. And I am trying to decide what this will become. I could see pillows made out of that. I think that's just beautiful. So that was day one. That was yesterday. And while I was there, I saw a little trinket box that, oh, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. That reminded me of my mom. And I didn't get it because I got so involved in this 80% off sale that I forgot to go back and grab it. So I went back today and I got it. And isn't it just the sweetest? My mother had one of these on her dresser, and it was exactly this style. It had little pink rosebuds, and it had the little gold feet, and it was oval, and it was a Limoges box. And that box sat on her dresser for as long as I can remember. And she recently passed away in June. I miss her so much. And when I saw this box, I just immediately thought of her, and she was on my mind all day yesterday. So I was laying in bed last night and I thought, you know, that's a 45-mile trip to go for one little box. But I couldn't stand it. I just had to go back and get it. So now it will sit on my desk and remind me of my sweet mom. So while I was there, of course, I had to go hit that 80% booth again and see what I missed yesterday. So I found these antique books. It's 7th edition of Antiques and their current prices. And this one was from 1963. And she had this marked $2, so this book today cost me 20 cents. Look, it's bound with staples. And inside, you open it, and it's got the introduction, and then it talks about different styles of antiques. This chapter is about patterned glass, and it lists a 6-inch footed bowl should cost around $14.50. A butter dish, $30. A cake stand, $28.50. Which back then seems like quite a bit of money. But for antique, people love their antiques. So it's just filled with all these beautiful pictures and prices and descriptions in there. I thought that was so fun. So that's going to make some lovely pages in a journal. Look at that with all the different glasses in there, the pictures. So fun. So that was the first book, and then I found another book, and this one is Price to Buy and Sell, Curios and Collectibles, and this was from 1972, and they had this book marked $1, so it cost me a dime. So look at that, 1972 Price to Buy and Sell. And it gives you an introduction to antiques, what an antique is, what is considered a collectible, what are the average buying prices, how to judge the condition of an antique, and then it breaks it down into glassware, pottery, mechanicals, guns, woodware. Just so fun. And look at the coloring on the pages. There's plates and mechanical banks, bottles, old Jim Beam bottles, and cameras, and clocks, and it just goes all through the fruit jars, chairs, furniture. Oh my goodness. That's going to be so fun to create with. So I thought that was a great find. And then I found some linens that I missed yesterday in her booth. They were buried at the very bottom. The first one I found was this little doily. That one was very sweet. And then this one is so delicate and very aged. It's coming apart over here. But look at that work. I cannot imagine, because I don't have the crocheting or knitting talent, actually creating something that delicate. That one was beautiful, and then the next two as well. This was a pair of these. And look at how beautiful. So intricate. That one has a little aging look to it. That one looks a little cleaner. But I love that vintage look there. And then this one, look at how delicate that is. Oh my goodness. That would take some extreme patience, I think. And then this one was really interesting. It's long. I could see ribbon or lace woven throughout the little holes in there. And then the first thing I thought of was, look at how pretty it would be on the spine of a book. You could weave some lace through there and then wrap it around. How lovely is that? I just think that is so pretty. So I bet that's what that will become. This book here was my first journal I made about a year ago. It was my introduction into junk journaling. One day I'll do a flip through just for the fun of it. It's very amateurish. I hadn't discovered YouTube and all of the tutorials that show how to do things. I just took a deep dive down Pinterest, and it's full of ephemera that I attempted to make, and pages, and the signatures are fun. None of them match. There's all kinds of different pages in there. But it will be a keepsake to show how far I've come with my craft. And then I got this doily as well. Look at all the detail in that one. I love the square ones too. They're so pretty. That has some lovely aging on the color also. And then this little one, I'm thinking that might have been how they used to put over the arm of a chair, maybe. That one was so sweet too. I love that. And then I found this beautiful collar. And look at the detail on that. I have no idea what that will become, but it was so pretty I had to get it. If nothing else, you could cut out the different little patterns around and use them. But I thought that was so sweet. So I got that, and then the last thing I got today was another beautiful tablecloth. And I don't know if I can get the whole picture in here. I'll snap a picture and put it on my Facebook as well so you can see the whole thing. But there's a beautiful bow on top, all this gorgeous crocheted lace on there, and look at the embroidery. And it's just a beautiful lady with a lovely little hat and all the floral around there. It's just absolutely lovely. And again, in a wonderful condition for being so old. This one measured 29 by 36, so it's a nice big one as well. So this one I got for $5. I could not get over the prices at the antique mall. So that is my haul this week for Thrifty Thursday. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'd love it if you'd hit the like button and help my little channel to grow. I've gained a few members this past couple weeks, subscribers, so I thank you for joining and welcome you to my channel. And if you'll leave me a comment, let me know which piece was your favorite and what you like to look for when you antique. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll join me again, and have a very, very blessed rest of your day or evening, whenever it is that you're watching. Bye-bye.